Related.
Mayor, take a roll call.
Yes, Cheryl Robinson.
Here.
David Riley.
Here.
Jeff Ward.
Here.
Almer Mayo.
Here.
Craig Gubsman is absent. Tricia Kennedy is absent. Andrew Marietta is absent. Tim Johnson is absent. Blake Elliott.
Here.
Okay, you have a call.
Right, we will forego the remarks and we'll move right into the approval of the meeting minutes. We have January 23rd board and February 13th committee meeting minutes. Any questions or comments or changes?
I had just a slight change here. And I'm sorry, it was semantics.
Is it on the IDA one? IDA meeting.
Audit and finance.
Okay.
Second sentence, it's in
IDA.
Yeah.
Board.
IDA board.
Yeah.
In the second page of those minutes, the first bullet, second sentence, it says chair of committee stated finances are being established. I think we're stating alternate sources
Okay.
of operating cash or something to that effect. Just,
Investment.
yeah.
Okay, we'll make that change.
Any other comments, questions, or changes? With the change Jeff has recommended, take a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Report of the audit and finance committee.
We covered, really, it was about those alternate sources is really the primary thing we discussed, and so I'd just like to touch on that. I know, I think at that meeting when we left, anticipating funding the 14th from the town, that happened? Okay. And any updates on the loan timing and the grant funding?
Yes. Is there any more sheets?
It's not.
On the one, I met with finally the municipal.
Intergovernmental. IGA.
IGA committee, they recommended approving a $600,000 zero interest loan for 1 year with an automatic option to renew for another year if we need to. Then I met with the admin committee and they approved the same terms, and it goes before the full board March 5th.
Okay, great.
As far as the reimbursement from the grant, we still have not seen it, or heard anything about it. I do know that the chairman of the county board met with congressman and asked them to look into it on our behalf.
Which grant is it? The E&J or the?
Yeah, yeah.
What's the agency for Richard?
Zero.
No, the agent.
I'm sorry?
What's the,
What agency?
Yeah.
The economic development.
yeah, EDA, right? Yeah.
ARC, on the other hand, seems to be business as usual. They just yesterday approved another 1 year extension on their grant. I don't know why EDA is done so much wrong.
Figuring it out, that's all.
Yeah. I'll take a motion to accept the report of the audit and finance committee. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Building communications, anything noteworthy on those? Looks like we've got appropriately identified the reimbursable within our expenses now.
Most of the reimbursables are just pilot payments for 4-block pilot. And then obviously the construction work that's going on in Richfield Springs. There's also a survey for the lot line adjustment that I did send. And hopefully we get payment on that. That's more of a yes with a question mark.
How long ago did we talk about and approve that welding dock that I accessed? Seemed like it's forever ago. Yeah.
This was,
Spring River something.
yeah, no, I think this is a second set of work that we've done, right? We did the loading dock a while ago. This wasn't the same thing. This was relatively recent.
When you say the loading dock, are we talking about the paving?
Paving and the.
Yeah, not the dock itself.
Right.
Right, okay.
But it just says replacement loading dock. So
I think that's what the invoice said, but yeah, I had just got the invoice, I actually didn't do any of the work, so I don't, Jody said all of the,
Yeah, I mean, that's who we agreed to, it's concrete.
yeah, they just sent it, he didn't know where to send it. That's different work, right, than the one from before?
The one before was the wall.
Right.
Well, there
Right,
was another-
that was,
And then we
that
did
was,
more
second
recent.
wall,
Activity on the wall.
and
That was
then
JMS.
the,
contracting.
It's the back side of that building.
Yeah.
Actually, the right side.
Hmm.
Originally, it was gonna be an addition. I think that's what.
So did they
It was
just
the intent when
complete
they built.
Yeah.
it? Or did they do it a while ago and just?
No,
build it?
this was just completed,
Okay.
within, I would say.
And Concrete Works sent you the bill or iAccess?
Concrete Works called me and he was a little confused, so it kind of went back and forth. So I asked Chad Hall, like, was the work done? Did it happen? He said yes. And then I told him he could send me the bill.
Any other questions on the,
one thing she was upset with was the kids.
Yeah, they ran over dues while they were doing
that's a baffling part to do.
He said he told me he didn't.
Fight or flight.
They handled the goose.
Okay. What else is rent?
What's that, Chris?
What else is rent?
It's a long payment, it shouldn't be much. That's okay.
Yeah, I do want to note too, it didn't get put into the agenda last time for the finance committee, but we need to talk about the Podium Theater. So if we could make sure to make a note of that and add that into the agenda.
I reached out
We did
to-
bring that up.
I have talked to her about that.
Okay.
It's on their radar.
Perfect. Any other questions on the bills? Now I take a motion to pay.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Report of the projects committee.
What's going on, Jody? Not much, we're waiting for Mike. Give us some good news.
Good news is that the Public Service Commission is going to vote on our gas line in March. Got an email this morning from John Hammer. So that's moving ahead. We should resume construction probably next month in March, weather gets better as well. The Appalachian Regional Commission approved a one-year extension while we hire an economic development director. At March.
Well, we'll move into your report next, so I think this is just any update. So if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to accept the report of the project committee.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So let's move into your monthly report.
Okay, the good news on encouraging business growth in area for preservation signed off our restoration remediation plan. So that should be getting work probably in April, actually doing the remediation. The company that's interested, their attorney was really pleased with that result. So that's moving along. We did have our one attorney, who's our construction attorney in Hoskins and Russ, fill out, and they actually amended it to add a timeline of a maximum of 2 months to get this work done.
Great.
That was sent to their attorney. I did contact Azar Design, a landscape architect out of the Buffalo area. That's a woman and minority owned firm. And they are working right now to get a proposal to us on doing the subdivision for the Richfield Springs project. As I indicated earlier, we met with the IGA committee and the administration committee that they are recommending approving a $600,000 zero interest loan. They did extend it, saying that in order to give us more time, they said they would give us an option to renew it for another year if we need to. I did reach out and had a meeting with the director for the Sudbury Economic Enterprise Corporation, and she's sending me information on what healthcare benefits and retirement plans that they provide to their employees. IOPS is all practical purposes worked out now. They've created they actually created more than 30 jobs that they were supposed to. They created 45.
Do we have a head count there now? I mean, how many people working that way?
We should find that out this quarter because we've sent out requests for their employee accounts.
Gotta be 50 plus.
I don't mean to be wrong, so is the head count that we create, is that supposed to be a net gain of head count from before the grant to now?
Yes.
It's not a divisional thing, like, yes, we created 31, but over here in this division, we eliminated 10.
No,
Okay,
no,
We should know that. I mean,
we have all of their existing employees documented and all of the hires documented. I really, their chief financial officer is preparing all these reports. I have a lot of faith that she's doing it correctly. Her name is Amy, and she's much more diligent, I would say, than some other. I trust her very much in this stuff. We are in the midst of our 2024 audit. We still don't know whether they're going to do a single purpose audit yet or not. It's likely, I think, that they will.
Just a control.
No, our financial audit with Monster.
And we are collecting data right now on the authority's office, 4 reports that are due for our 3 agencies. It turns out that the one report that I submitted last year wasn't accepted. And it had to do with, I just didn't file it on the report. So out of the 12, 11 were accepted. And I submitted that one yesterday, I recertified it, and they said they were off.
is it possible after the audit from Monster and everything else coming together, closing out some projects, we could get indication for the public, the county board as well, but also the public, some way to disseminate the information that we are doing some things. We have, to me, we've worked a long time and not got much. We're getting some results. We certainly should be communicating to the public, however that is done anymore. I mean, the paper doesn't do much.
Yeah, we can issue a press release regarding audits.
Well, okay. So where the press release is going to die, just exactly so. No. That's a nice government talk. Who's ever going to see it? I mean, I think we need to communicate with the people who live here that the IDA is accomplishing some things. I don't know how that's done exactly, but we've got to look at some ways to do that. I mean, issue a press release and 6 people know what's going to happen. We need public support. We want to build any, we build, we had some successes. You got to build on them. Anybody can tell somebody to go on.
part of that would be start with our website, right?
I was gonna say, I mean, I don't know, too, even social media, right? Probably if you build stories.
And have a good message on the website, drive some traffic
Yeah.
to it so people see it, but somehow we have a vested interest in making sure more people know of the positive things that we're doing.
It would be interesting, I don't know if it's something you really want to jump in completely to in terms of even just an annual sit down with somebody from the Daily
Yes,
Star to be able to
something.
say, here's what we finished for the year, right? Like, using what you provide, the IGA even for kind of that insight.
And I think it's also, they're giving us a $600,000 interest-free loan. It's protection, it's ammunition for the county board people who are supporting us. If the general public knows we're actually doing something. I mean, it's important, I think, that we speak up.
Just in general, if you call any IDA around the state,
Yeah.
They lie under the radar.
I know they do.
Because what you do is you open up, as much as you think it's a good project, there's two other people behind you that say, that's why we had all those people, I don't know if you were here, lined up in this thing telling us what they didn't want to happen.
That's okay.
So, okay,
Once again, public
I
conversation.
disagree, but that's just the way I feel about it. I mean, I'd love to tell people we did good, but there's a lot of people that don't think that we're doing that. You know,
I think that's a
doing
conversation we should have.
yeah.
Well, we can certainly, I'm working on for our annual report. Accomplishments
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, and what I'm talking about is what do we do with that? So,
We could hold I know in the past, they held a special meeting like at Foothills and invited the public to come in and do a presentation.
yeah, anyway, somehow there's a way,
Well, we did those town halls too before COVID, where you went to
Yeah,
like,
I used to go, I can start those again.
just something, you know, if we want to grow jobs, more people have to know the ones we're growing, so if they have an idea, they'll come to us.
Yeah, just before COVID, we did Cooperstown, we did, Oneonta, Town, in the city, we did.
Richmond.
So I guess I would just say in terms of slowing down a little bit is two things, right? One is you and your team putting together what kind of communication plan do you feel like is necessary and beneficial? I'd say the second thing is keeping in mind is our focus is on getting ED director. This seems like it'd be something would fall under the guise of more of the marketing director once we hired them. We don't have that function, and so is it worth the staff's time to be focusing on this, taking away from other things? And that's just a question I'm throwing to you guys, right? Is you would have to weigh out that priority and what it takes to organize and the cost, right? To do all that stuff versus, so finding that right balance of kind of communicating, but at the same time, not sacrificing your resources and time to do that. Until, because again, I think the focus is once we have the marketing director, that would be more in their wheelhouse of how we do those things more effectively and more consistently.
Works.
And just because we have a new member, can you just talk a little bit about the ARC Innovation Center grant? That's some I haven't spoken about, and so Blake's probably a bit unaware of what's going on there.
Yeah, we started a concept that a lot of other ideas are involved in right now. I'm looking at small startup companies that have an idea that just haven't taken it to the next level. We paired up with custom electronics and Ioxis initially, primarily targeting small electronics companies. That worked well for about 8 months. They were actually working together. There was some issues regarding one of the companies hiring one or two of the other company's employees, and everybody started getting upset on sharing information. ARC gave us $150,000 to hire the center director and to the program. To date, 3 small businesses have been created, so we're actually ahead of where we thought we were going to be. One of those actually is a gentleman who's actually starting his own innovation center. And Custom Electronics also decided that they are going to start their own innovation center in a new building they bought in the town of Louisville. And then both SUNY and Hardwick are looking at their own innovation centers. So I'm actually reporting that to ARC that actually out of our initiative, those things have cropped up.
Can we get one?
We create more.
It works.
I know, right? It's just, it's the whole mentality, like, if I can do it better than.
Well, is it a matter of a pool of grant money that's available, everybody's grabbing? Is that? You know what I mean? Money drives out
I
all
think
of this
that's
stuff.
the schools might be seeing that.
Yeah. Now, what's going on in Washington with the cuts in the projects, I'm not sure that there's going to be a lot of money for innovation centers. in the future. Don't see that as an option.
So we're still in the stages of determining what do we want to be, do we want to be, and what does that look like for us? We had started it, we lost the staff member that was leading that, and so that's what we put a bit of a pause on.
And the original concept was that we have individuals, maybe 5 or 6 individuals in our one conference room, and work with them for about a week on and having both Custom Electronics and IOXs come over and meet with them. And then they would pair off and actually go to those companies to actually do further training, marketing, manufacturing experience.
Well, originally it was to fill the need that wasn't being filled. It seems like people are standing in line to want to fill the need, so I'm not sure if, you know, as you say, put our energies where they make sense.
Right.
If other people are doing that, we don't, let's give back their money.
But getting back to the concept is that the innovation center person would actually be more of a marketing person for us. And that is something we could use in the future.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions on Jody's report?
Just a land clearing around here. Where are we on that?
On the revenue,
Yeah, clearing 5 acres.
we go out for proposals the first week in March.
Right.
I need a motion, but we'll go ahead and take a motion to accept the CEO report. Second?
No, I would like to say I appreciate doing this report during the board meeting because it actually gives me more time to work on it than trying to get 3 other reports done at the same time. So actually, this is working out.
Again, I still see some repetitive stuff here, so we can work on that, but really trying to use this report to drive the strategic goals and the work and effort that's going into each of those strategic goals. So a lot of the extra stuff is extra, but really trying to focus here at the board meeting on how we're driving towards our strategic goals and the activities and actions that are being taken there under, so.
Let me just go back. As far as the business part, are there shovels in the ground for anticipation of when that might be?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just the owner of the company still has to go through, once he knows the deal is going to be consummated, then he's going to hire an engineering firm to actually do the real drawing,
Okay.
so that could take another 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Did you say drawings?
And where does the purchase fall in that timeline? Like he buys it, then he gets his engineer busy, or does,
Yeah, he doesn't want to spend a lot of money on designing his.
no, but I mean, when does he pay for the land? Is he waiting until it's designed or until we're got clear so we can?
I'm going to pay for it
Yeah, okay. So our consummation,
probably in 3 months.
Why that long? I mean, can we get started on it now? I mean, we're gonna do the remediation component.
We're spending money.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything in terms of have lawyers stopped working, basically?
There's still the issue with the lot line adjustment with Mike Mann.
Right,
And he wants that taken care of.
yeah, okay.
And that's where the 2 month,
is that the last issue?
that's the last issue.
And do we
The
have a
lot line's gonna take.
guesstimate of when that?
2 months.
2 months.
It could be sooner, but
Who's telling
Didn't we
you,
just pay for a survey?
who's telling you
Not
2
that
months?
one. That's for
Jody.
Red Road.
Who's telling you 2 months? Joe Scott or whatever the guy's name
That's
is, or
for,
Kurt?
right.
next door property around West Road for Edmund.
Yeah, just take that stuff.
And the reason, did he give you a reason why it's 2 months?
They've got to update the, title insurance, they've got to update the,
So I'll ask, do we feel like at moving at this pace, because it feels very slow to me, that we're going to potentially lose the sale?
Do you think that the buyer is gonna walk away if it takes 2 months?
no, I don't. I think that they would be responding to me in a positive way, saying, we're really happy that the archaeological work is completed now. I mean, they would have just not do it.
Okay. That'd be my worry, Craig, I don't know if you have
Yeah, time kills
a
deals.
different kind of angle or perspective you're
We
concerned.
made a
about.
deal, they gotta close the deal, I mean, I don't understand, it doesn't, it's not rocket science, you call your attorney and say, get this deal done. That's what you do, I don't, you know, they can't slow walk it, they're gonna walk away either now, or they're gonna walk away in 2 months, it's one or the other, you can't control either one, or, I mean, we can negotiate for what, 8 months, I don't know what's been.
But I can understand like they not being able to close the deal with them until you get the title and everything situated with the lot line adjustment.
Yeah, so who The manhole, is that something that we're not in control of? It's on my manhole side, they're not moving, or we're not? That's what I'm wondering, because title insurance update, that's not that doesn't take 2 months. I mean,
Couple days.
Doesn't take a week.
yeah, I mean, is that we're finding out that,
Just need
They're not-
details.
Time out.
Yeah.
Title could take that long if they don't have the abstract.
I mean, I got an after, okay,
You might
let's
have to recreate a 40-year abstract, is what I'm saying. I don't know if we had it, and,
We had an abstract, but it has to be updated.
but it's only since the last update.
Right.
It's not 40 years worth.
It can't be because we can't be, sorry.
I guess the thing is, let's try to continue
Yeah.
to put pressure on
Sure.
and keep it moving.
At least have
forward.
detail, that's the reason, then we need to know. The attorney needs to detail that to you, that's my opinion, so you can tell the board what's going on, you know, just.
The other way to go is sell it as is, and now Manuel's got to deal with no owner who could say, screw you, and take your building down.
Correct.
if he doesn't want to buy it with that problem, but you're right. I own.
Anyway, you know, for private individuals bet their own money, time kills.
Yeah.
And the boys are waiting on, sitting on go, waiting to get started, and every day's a risk.
Yeah, the owners though have been looking for property for about 2 years.
Well, okay, they're probably still looking, because they haven't pulled the deal yet. The only safe assumption for us is we always have competition. When you're selling.
Did you get a deposit?
Huh?
Did they deposit?
Yeah.
Anyway, just, if you could hope the attorney can get
It's in
in
escrow.
I think just don't let up, basically, let's keep the pressure on, keep moving this forward. Okay, we'll move in, I believe we have a need for executive session to discuss personnel issues. Note, Dave made the motion to come out of executive session and no action was taken. We'll move into new and unfinished business, so we have a few resolutions here. First is the CO to sign the loan agreement with the Otsego County. Questions? Do we have to read the resolution?
No, you-
Divided in the packet. Any changes to the resolution? Get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We also have the, basically salary increases for the Director of Finance Administration, Administrative Assistant, and the CEO. So slight alteration to the resolution will need to be made, but essentially approving 5% for the Director of Finance Administration and the agency's Administrative Assistant, and 3.5% for the CEO. Any questions, discussion? If not, I take a motion.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So resolved. We're not, nope, yeah, we're gonna leave this first all together.
Okay.
Any other new or unfinished business?
We want to have a motion to create a search committee for director of economic development.
Yes, and I noted in here, I noted to myself. Just to be clear, in terms of the subcommittee, I think some of this can be done further at the governance, but essentially their purpose will be to engage in the activities required to recruit, refine, and select a candidate for the position of the EU director. Looking at offering a salary range not to exceed, although we originally had 75, seeing new scales, we might want to adjust that.
I think you'll find out when you start.
Committee can address that.
The committee can address that. And I also feel like the committee can have the ability to adjust the job description and title as deemed appropriate. Using the strategic document we created as an organization for job responsibilities. And the committee will be granted authority to select and extend offers.
Yes.
Salary is going to come as a recommendation of that committee.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. But I want them to be authorized in working with Jody on being able to select, narrow the candidate pool, select the candidate, and extend offers as deemed appropriate based on the scale. So I might jump up that 75 to 80, just looking at these scales up to 80. Again, all determined based on the individual, the experience period, and actually the job responsibilities determined they will be responsible for. everyone good with that?
Yes.
Yes, although in the scale that I presented, it could go up to 90 as a maximum.
Do you want to grant, do we
No,
want to
not
grant
yet.
that? Okay.
But-
I think if it exceeds 80, we probably need to come back to the board. Yeah, if it exceeds 80,
Yeah,
the idea
right,
they come back to the board with that recommendation or with that request, and we would choose to up it at that time based on the
Can
potential.
we create a range? that The candidate qualifications center may dictate where we want to go.
Well, I think we have, for me, I'm
We need a
saying
minimum.
up to 80 because that's what we feel comfortable with an operational budget. At
Okay,
this point, as we said it last year, we were at 75, just looking some basic cost of living increases. I think anything over 80, my gut would be is that we need to come back to this board
absolutely.
for discussion on the candidate and why to justify the increase in the salary offer.
We're not posting the range in the job posting for candidates to
We
see.
have to now, don't you?
That's what I'm asking. Or can you say commensurate with experience?
I think you have to put the range now, it's now a nation.
And I think it's important because
Again, no,
you let
I
people
was gonna
that will
enforce
apply or
it.
won't apply. Or you could have somebody apply and then when they find out, we're
It's a,
commensurate with
it's a
experience.
crapshoot.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
so I think what you'd probably be putting for the range would be 70, 80, we'd probably put on there, right, and then,
That's probably be up to this community to decide.
yeah. And if they want to post something higher, again, come back to the board and make sure we're comfortable with that higher range. Okay. So I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions, comments, or discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, so moved. So we'll work on selecting committee members here thereafter. Any other new or unfinished business? No, we didn't. He was still here.
You have 5. You're good. You have 5.
It's all fun.
It's
Look at us.
great.
See, this is what happens when you have new members.
Yeah, we're good.
Seeing no public here to comment, we will forego public comments. We've already held executive session. Can I get a motion to
So
adjourn?
moved.
We will move into call the meeting of the CRC to order. Roll call will stand as the idea, because you have Craig absent still there.
Yes, yeah.
We'll forego the chair remarks. We have the approval of meeting minutes from January 23rd. Any comments, questions, or changes? Now I take a motion.
So
Second,
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any new or unfinished business for the CRC? Any executive session needed? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Right.
Yeah, 8.